who we've talked about, but when you look at this team in totality, a lot of people have gotten better. Sheldon Rank is a veteran up front on the defensive line. Will Anderson, the other rookie that they took, is starting to ascend and play well. Jonathan Grenard. This team is littered with a lot of talent, and they're doing this without Tank Dell, who was their leading receiver. The Houston Texans finally righted the ship by making a right hire at the head coaching position and drafting the right quarterback.
And giving the man some runway to do 100%. And it helps you have 2 picks in the top 3. That look the part. That look the part. Ryan and Rex, you guys are so well qualified to talk about this game that's coming up. Because Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I've said it for years, it's fitting that the colors are black and gold and purple and black because that's the color of the Blues. I know that's corny, but it feels like that's what this is, right? I mean, you played the playoff game with the first play of the game, they're taking a man off the field. Like, that's what this is about. It's been contentious, but there's respect at the bottom of it. But I find it fascinating, Rex, if you're Baltimore, you spent a decade there, like you're across the field in Pittsburgh, like, we can keep them out of this. They beat us earlier this year. We're not playing our starting. What is the mentality on the Baltimore side?
Yeah, all week long, John Harbaugh said, yeah, Lamar's not going to play, this guy's not going to play, or whatever. But we have exactly who we need to win this game. And
no, they love to slow it down.
It's easy to get motivated when you're, when you're playing Pittsburgh. All right, it's about who's the most physical.
Options that they can trick
the great thing is both teams are the same way. I mean, I can assure you, every person in that Raven locker room is talking about, the most physical team wins. And it's going to be the exact same thing in that Pittsburgh locker room. Because at the end of the day, the team that's more physical wins this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is this, though. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is bigger than Baltimore, right? This is a team that has been questioned many times throughout the season about effort, about playmaking, about will.
This is why he was picked
this game is about. It's about willing to get the ball. It's about willing your way to a win. It's about saying, I'm going to have more effort on our sideline than on the other sideline. And you're playing a team that's already in. So you get to the point where if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers, this could be embarrassing, right? They cannot have Lamar Jackson, who's going to be the MVP, maybe a Roquan Smith on defense, and still walk people out there and walk away with a win. That's a problem. That's a problem for that locker room. And so when I think about the Pittsburgh Steelers going into this game, he is right. That's what Coach Tomlin is preaching, but he's also preaching that this used to be the best rivalry in sports, and they're now sitting there MVP out winning players. That's a problem. They beat him earlier this year in Pittsburgh. I just think there's so many layers to this because in a quiet space in the room, if you're Baltimore, you say, would it be better for us if Pittsburgh makes it than potentially Buffalo? I think the answer to that is yes, but there's just no way in the world you could talk yourself in to not giving every ounce you've got to this game.
Yeah, those Ravens players aren't thinking about that, but what I will say is, RC, to your point, if the Steelers cannot beat the Ravens backup, they do not deserve to be in the playoffs.
Defensively. We have got you covered with reports from both games. Lisa Salters will join us in a moment from Indy. We start with Laura Rutledge. And Laura, this morning, when we left Maryland, it was snowy. I see it. It's pivoted. Ryan's laughing. I'm not. I know it's cold and rainy. Just how impactful might the weather be in this game?
Yeah, thanks for the laughs, guys. I appreciate that. In fact, offensive coordinator for the Ravens, Todd Monken, just walked past me and he goes, this blows. I'm like, I concur, Coach, but here we are, 35 degrees right now. The rain's coming down. Could turn into snow. And on the Ravens side, we saw that practice working on wet football with Tyler Huntley. They're doing everything they can to work on the ball security. The Steelers said. Cam Hayward saying, we're going to be doing everything we can to force turnovers. They know that Huntley's been prone to that, and that's a big focus for this team. You guys talked about Lamar Jackson not playing. He told me he hates not playing. He said as a competitor, you want to be out there, but he understands the reasoning why and wants to really focus on his singular goal, which is getting to the Super Bowl and winning it. They feel like this time off is going to help his body and put him in position to be in a great spot. He said he feels like this team is so special, they can't waste this chance. He finally has the offensive weapons that he's always wanted. And then on the Steelers side of things, they're talking about their quarterback situation, riding the hot hand with Mason Rudolph. Kenny Pickett, Mike Tomlin said, is still the starting quarterback, but Mason Rudolph has given them a better chance to win. He's put up points. He's moved the ball. And Jalen Warren, the running back for the Steelers, told me that they feel like Rudolph's just playing carefree. He's playing with house money. He is a guy that is not second-guessing himself. It's given them a boost, and they're going to continue continue to ride that. It'd be interesting to see if they make it into the playoffs, what they do. You got to think they stick with Rudolph either way. The mention that you guys made about this rivalry between the Ravens and the Steelers, such a storied rivalry, it's still very real between these two teams, despite the conditions and what's at stake for both in this scenario. Mike Tomlin saying yesterday, they like to be the bully, and we like to play the bully. We love that. Now let's go to Lisa Salters in Indy.
When he's on the floor.
Well, it's about
Hey, Laura, thank you. Every single player that I talked to this week about this game said the same thing. Yes, it's winning in. Yes, everything is on the line, but you cannot make it bigger than it is and go out and try to do too much. Texans rookie defensive player of the year candidate Will Anderson Jr. said, while no one outside of their building may have expected much from this Houston team this season, they've been telling each other all year long, we don't need anyone else's approval. We can be good if we stay together, empty the tank, be relentless. Just go out and do your jobs. Now for Indy, leading receiver Michael Pittman Jr. said he's been preaching this week that this game will be about doing what got you here. We need to prepare the way we have been, he said, and know that our preparation is and will be enough. Like the Texans, expectations were not high surrounding this Colts team entering the season. But Pittman Jr. said he knew that they would be much better than the 4-win team that many had predicted. He said we came in with open expectations to try to see how far we could go, and we're still figuring that out. Scott, a big answer to that comes later today.
Indeed, don't let anybody else define what you can be, and this team has a chance to play itself in. There are 4 teams who have already clinched the playoff spot in the AFC. The Ravens, Chiefs, and Cleveland Browns locked into their current seeds. Of course, the big game Sunday, South Florida Sunday night, the Bills and the Dolphins to decide the AFC East. The Jaguars, we mentioned, there are 3 teams in the AFC South, currently 9-7. The Jags are in charge of what happens directly as they win the South to the victory over the Titans. We welcome in Adam Schefter now with more on Trevor Lawrence. This is a win and win the South scenario, but we know he's been battling through injuries. How is that trending?
Well, Scott, moments ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars actually activated wide receiver Christian Kirk. The real focus now is on Trevor Lawrence.
The 2K Sports Halftime
decision into tomorrow, but the fact that it was
hey everybody, welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime
some
program.
Encouragement to Jacksonville that Lawrence could potentially be available, and they wouldn't have to turn to Steve Beckler the same way that they did last week. Again, they're hopeful we'll see if we go tomorrow. Not as much hope in Miami regarding the injuries surrounding some of their key players. We know that Tyreek Hill was in a walking boot. He is expected to be out there. Waddle, Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver, the running back who missed last week, so doesn't sound promising for their availability for Sunday night's game. We'll see if they can go. The Chiefs don't plan to play Patrick Mahomes, who's listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against the Chargers. Again, the plan is for Blaine Gabbert to start in that game, and there are other questions surrounding Travis Kelce, who's just short of 1,000 yards, and Isaiah Pacheco, who I don't know that he will wind up playing. I think actually he probably won't go tomorrow on Sunday. As for the starting quarterbacks, 5 quarterbacks will be making their first start of the season this week, including Tyler Huntley, Blaine Gabbert, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, and that means after this weekend that 66 different quarterbacks will have started this year, too short of the record that the NFL set in a non-strike year that was set just last year when 68 quarterbacks started, but 5 first-time starters this season, this weekend.
Yeah, quite a trend. The year of the backup continues. Adam, thank you very much. More to come from you as we continue this afternoon with a doubleheader coming your way. I did the David Stern where I did the water, and I went, did that mean? It happened to me. We're getting it through. All right. You heard the questions about you go with Kelce. Well, it's a rest versus rust question, and it certainly applies to Baltimore. How do you handle that? Mike Tomlin sits down with Michelle Beiser-Buck on how they've prepared for a playoff push through a season of ups and downs and challenges. Stay with us all afternoon and all night long.
Here's Carter. And they call the inside violation. Too much time getting it up for him.